Well, students' attitudes toward writing is a huge topic. I mean, I've been here 30 years, so it's changed, but how is it affected by technology? Okay. When I first started teaching, and I actually started teaching in 1976 in North Carolina, so it's been 34 years, everything was paper, So we met in class, students wrote sometimes in class, they handed me papers, I went home and marked them up, handed them back. We read things as homework and then discussed them in class. So that was a traditional model that I was taught. Mm-hmm. And I would say it's very linear. It's like you put words in a row, I respond, it takes me time, I give it back to you. There's a big time gap between what you're doing and when you get response. And on the discussions of reading that have gone in class, some discussions will be great, some discussions will be terrible. So much depends on the mix of students and the type of community that I've been able to create or not create. Mm-hmm. And in those oral discussions, it's really easy for one person to dominate and for some people to be silent who are actually very articulate and just don't care to get involved, want to quietly disappear into the woodwork. Now, with technology, a lot of that changes. And one way that I've really changed that is in the discussion of readings. I really like to discuss readings online using the discussion board feature of Blackboard. Okay. And the way that works is that I have a leader, somebody who sets up the discussion, posts an introduction, a response, something about the author, how it connects to various projects in the course, and then some questions for discussion. And then each student has to take one of those questions to begin with and post it as a new thread and respond to a question that the leader posed, and write a rich, fairly detailed response. And then they also have to respond to at least one other post in sort of a keep discussion going post, which can be shorter. And I like the students to put lots of threads and put catchy phrases for the headers, and then with Blackboard's discussion board, if you use the tree version, I think it is, and if you press expand all, you can visually see all the different threads, where you might want to jump into the discussion, what you've read, because what you haven't read will be bold, so you know where you need to go. And that works really well, and nobody can sit back, and the quieter people come in, and if you don't, the people that talk more, you don't even have to really read them. I mean, you should, but you can read them quickly and move on. Yeah. So it's more democratic, and it's a really good, engaged discussion.
I haven't thought about it, but I think I have seen fewer students this time around. I was teaching here 12 years ago, and then I went away for 10 years and came back, and I was teaching a little elsewhere, but in a different situation. And I haven't gotten the feeling that anyone was resisting writing at all. And maybe the digital revolution is helping that they feel more comfortable just starting to put words down on paper.
Do you think that there's a divide at all between how students view writing for school as opposed to the writing they do every day? And is there anything we can do to bridge that if there is a divide?
I don't.
You don't see it?
I have no opinion about that.
Okay, that's all right.
I don't, yeah.
That's just something
I haven't sensed a divide or thought about it.